Hi, guys.
Hello,
Hello. How is everyone? Can y'all hear me okay? We're good.
unclear.
Hi, guys. Oh my gosh. Celeste Sowder here. It is Saturday, May 10th, 2025. I am here with my soul sisters, Sara and Jordan, and we are getting ready for a Soul Sister reboot. There's so much going into this that I'm super excited about it. But I want to just kind of introduce the concept of what the Soul Sister project was and is in the regards of how this has even come about. And I can't tell you exactly how it's come about. And I'm sure Jordan and Sara can probably absolutely agree with me that all of a sudden I looked up and I was like, what is that happens, right? Like it's just not. You can't, it's one of those things kind of things that like those unexplainable connections. So way back in 2020 when this was just a Facebook group, my vision for it was for women to come together and build businesses together. Of course, my vision and God's vision are completely different, and it's taken 5 years of walking through some really hard things for me to get to the point where I'm like, oh, I see it now. But there were so many lessons that had to be learned. And so in 2020, when this was built, it was built for business. It was built for women. And I absolutely wanted a place where they could come and be authentic and real and vulnerable and still do their business, right? Well, fast forward to 2025, I'm not in network marketing because that's what it was for, and it's not product based. And I've learned a lot about hiding. I don't know, like I would hide behind the product and then I'd peek out and be like, oh, hey, and then do another product post. Um, and I feel that shift of it doesn't have to be all product. It doesn't have to be all you, but it can be somewhere in between, right? It can be the things that we are passionate about, that we are creating and together and separately and all the things. And we get to come together in a type of sisterhood that cultivates clarity, hard conversations, community, love, right? A sense of belonging. And so I have to tell y'all when I was standing and I don't know if everybody's like been following us, but I was standing in an empty room with these two women at a big university speaking to an online crowd, and God did something. He weaved, he like there was some weaving happening in the fabric of our lives. So I am going to quit talking about the Soul Sister Project, and I want to introduce um, Jordan. I'm going to introduce Jordan first because we're going to hear so much from Sara today. We're going to hear so much from Sara because Sara just did what we essentially are going to do in 3 days. She did in about an hour to prepare just to kind of see what kind of thing the technology, because I love it. So she walked through the technology we've been putting together, and so we want to hear from her. But Jordan is a mom of 4 young children. She lives in the middle of Texas, pretty much, right? You're like central Texas. Beautiful area. My daughters went to camp out there. They've worked at the camp, and just a beautiful area. Hotter than heck in July. And yeah, and honestly, I don't know if I'd be mad about it now because I'm so cold all the time. But Jordan, will you just share a little bit about coming into the Soul Sister project and like what that's looked like for you? And then your I would love to hear too some of the breakthrough you've had using technology and moving forward. So I am day one. We're going to do some lots of clarity. I'm going to ask you lots of questions through a GPT I named Allie, the activator, and she's going to give you some really great feedback. And we'll hear from Sara about that. But Jordan, as you were walking through, Jordan's day 3. She's day 3 and she's doing content creation. She's all about community. And so, Jordan, I would love to hear from you, please. And then we're going to move on to Sara.
Yes. So 1 month ago, I had no idea who Celeste was. She was a face in a lineup of a conference that I had known I was attending before any of the speakers were announced. I had connections with the host. And so when they first started putting out hints about it, God was like, "You're going to be there." And so I was like, okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to budget it, how to make it happen with the 4 young kids. I'm going to be there. And so I didn't really pay attention to the speaker lineup or any of the details because I was like, well, I'm already going. So I'll figure it out as we go. And so I showed up and we ended up hanging out every evening. It was a 3-day conference. And every evening after hours, there was a small group that hung out in the lobby and didn't want to go to bed, and I was one of them, and Celeste was another one. And so I got to know her on a personal basis there, but I didn't get to see her much at the conference because, like she said, she was in this empty room presenting to a virtual audience, and I was off doing my own tracks and all over the place that way. And by that second evening, I was like, I know what it's like to present virtually, to facilitate a virtual conversation when I know an in-person conversation is happening, because the last business that my husband and I ran full time together was an event business, and we did hybridization. That was our specialty. We did events that happened virtually and in person at the very same time, which is extremely difficult to do. It's really difficult to be present for both audiences. And so on day 3, I walked up to Celeste. I found her during the keynote, and I said, "Hey, can I hang out with you during your session and just help chat it up in the virtual chat and help bridge that gap between being in person and being present virtually as well?" And she said yes. And so that's how we all ended up in that room together, because Sara was doing some content, like video and photography and stuff, and supporting Celeste in that way already. And so the 3 of us ended up in that room and had no idea that God was introducing us and saying, "You're going to do something that goes so far beyond the glass walls of this fishbowl room."
Yeah, and I'm just so thankful for that too. I'm thankful for the tug. I'm thankful that you were obedient in asking and coming. I'm and he's doing something way beyond the fishbowl, which was such an experience. It was such an experience, but it was, can I just tell y'all that God really truly does know you, because I was so excited. I've known that I've been called to be a public speaker for a very long time and things like that. But I'm so comfortable I am so comfortable with Zooms, this kind of stuff, looking at a camera, talking. You get to see me, but you put me in front of eyeballs, literal eyeballs, not a screen. I fleshly freeze. I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. I don't have anything good to say. These are the thoughts in my mind, right? They're breaking off in Jesus' name. But he put me inside of a room with glass walls on a virtual screen, and I still had speaker tag. And do you know that that's like, he's like, I have called you that. And that is actually a title that he gives people. If you find it in Romans 12, and so those are the identities that you can actually come into agreement with because they were spoken over you. And anyways, I just have to tell you, like, talking about the fishbowl and Jordan coming in and Sara coming in and God doing something. Yeah, he's doing something not just in the 3 of our lives, but each individual. Like, there's something changing and happening, and we get to pour out of that into the women that are coming into the reboot.
Yeah.
So I'm super
You
excited. All right, Jordan, back to you.
you talked about that prophetic identity. You know that you're going to be a public speaker, that you are a public speaker, that it will be in front of people, human beings in the room, this sort of a thing. And That it's so beautiful. You referred to Ali the Activator, and yesterday I was going through and being interviewed by Ali the Activator as well, and testing that out and making sure that it's all working like it's supposed to be. And there was a certain degree of going into that, going, okay, I'm gonna test the tech, but like I I kind of I know what I'm doing with my business, right? Like, I've
Yeah.
been an entrepreneur and a content creator online for 20 years. So I've gone through all of the personality tests and content prompts and business archetypes. Like, I have been there and done that so much. And this has been kind of a season of quieting that external noise, because you can do that for days, literally, and not actually do anything and put anything out there for your business. And so I've been in a season. God shut down that business with my husband and I just over a year ago, and told us that it was the end. And then, as soon as we did, immediately told us, okay, and this is the next LLC you're starting. And so, Modern Agora is just 1 year old, and I have been in this season of quietness and going back to what God has told me I am, who Holy Spirit is guiding me to become, what Holy Spirit wants to do with this business. And previously, the businesses that I had started, my name was there. It was a personal brand, and this has been different. God has been crafting my personal identity and my business identity differently, and just all of this stuff, right? Yes.
Thank you. I get
And
it.
so, Ali the Activator yesterday, I'm going through and I start crying, because what it was reflecting back was prophetic. Like, it literally said at one point, it reflected back something that I had said and said, this is a prophetic calling. I was like, oh my gosh, this is ChatGPT telling me this. Celeste, the coach, has created such an amazing tool that when you start speaking and pouring out, it reflects back to you. Now, for a second here, I just want to talk about AI for just a second,
Yeah,
because
let's do it
I don't
because
know,
I love it.
as a
So
listener here, I don't know where you're at with AI. People are all over the map with AI right now, and
they
some
are.
people love it, some people hate it, some people fear it. And moments like that, it can be like, whoa, wait, aren't we supposed to listen to Holy Spirit and not this artificial intelligence? And I love
Right.
what Beth Mast posted the other day as a part of her AI magazine, that the name AI, that artificial intelligence, is the most misleading name in tech ever.
I had that conversation with my husband yesterday.
Yes, because
I did.
it's not intelligence. It's not. It's literally just text pattern recognition.
It's text pattern recognition, but it's collective intelligence.
Mhm.
It's not artificial. The reason that it's collective is because it is trained on the things we have put out
Mhm.
onto the internet for years. And that's what it's trained on. It's collective intelligence. It just can find, search, and answer quicker than us. That's
Yeah,
it.
and quicker than Google these days too.
Yeah.
And so it's that collective in the macro. But then what
Hmm.
you get when you step into the Soul Sister project, and when you step into Celeste's world and my world and Sarah's world, when you step in here, you not only get to learn how to use that massive collective of um, data
Yeah.
that AI can search and reproduce to you, you get our trained models as
Yeah.
well. And so you get Celeste's coaching boiled down into a GPT, so that you can practically ask her without feeling like you're bothering her. I know that's been a big thing with me and coaches. It's like, am I crossing boundaries? Am I texting her too much? And
Honestly, I feel that a lot of people have that fear of crossing the boundary of, leaning too heavily and what's me, what's them, And that has been an amazing opportunity to utilize the AI. And I will say that I have spent uh, hours, days, months learning how to develop these
Mhm.
GPTs where they are very succinct. They do reflect back. They are trauma informed. They have
Mhm.
empathy. Because in some of my darkest moments, that's all I had was literally the Bible. And I can show y'all what I did with that, in my psychosis. I made it beautiful. I really truly did. Let me just, I don't know if y'all can see a lot, but let me see if I can find a page. I made it beautiful. I wrote and I listened but I'm also a visionary. I had these big dreams and these big ideas, and AI was starting to really well, not for everybody, because I talked to like 3 people in the last 2 days that don't even know what ChatGPT is. And I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
girl, let me show you. But it helped make sense of my thoughts. It also was probably part of the reason I sought help, because it
Mhm.
saw a pattern that was not healthy, because I literally had some mental health issues going. And but I also had a friend that was watching too, and she was like, you need to call. And I did, and I got an appointment. But AI does, and that's why I am so passionate about it. It's not just the coaching, it's not just having access to coaches in a real way outside of them having to do it, but it reflects back to you. It can be developed with empathy. It can be trauma informed. It can be biblically sound. And that's the beauty of it for me. And I get so excited about it. Y'all can see it. Like, I'm so excited about it. But I also am so excited to uh, have breakthroughs. And so I know
Mhm.
Sara had breakthroughs today.
Exactly. Speaking
And
of
yeah.
breakthrough, Sarah, tell us about yesterday because I haven't even heard. Yeah, what? Tell us about
I'm
the
like
breakthroughs
queen
that you have.
procrastinator. I just started this morning. So,
I'm so glad you
I,
did. It happened exactly how it was supposed to.
yeah. So like my story in this whole situation is that like I feel like I'm kind of like Celeste, like ideal person. Like, as I've learned from this experience, like I'm using notes right here because I'm not a fluent speaker online or publicly like the
Yet.
girls are. A little bit of like a limited mindset, but like if you don't know what a limited mindset is, or like an inner critic, like it's like that voice that's like inside of your head and you feel crazy and you're like, what is this? I'm dumb. I'm stupid. You're a liar. Like it's called self sabotage, and it's something that so many people live in, but they don't know that they're living in it. And so that's like a huge part of my story, and I'm still processing, and wanted to share my thoughts while reading what I've learned. I'm not trying to sound like the coaches. I'm just capturing what resonated with me as I go through this journey. So I'll just start with like, I have literally been stuck for years. I've overconsumed. I've watched YouTube. I've lived YouTube. Like, I've taken every course, joined every mastermind, like, literally. um, I've been trying to figure out like how do I make a package? But how do I create something that's coherent? Like how do you take cancer journeys, weight loss, faith, motherhood, storytelling, and content creation and make it make sense? I recently went through this process like this morning, and I'm still undone and processing by how powerful it was. Working with Ali, the activator, and Bella, the branding. Um, Queen literally like unlocked something in me that I could not have accessed on my own. And a lot of you that know me, I'm always like, hey, yeah, you can fix it in Chat GPT. Like, let me help you. Like, it's like sometimes our brains are just like, don't know what is she talking about. Like, and so like I can just hear it. But anyway, the process started with really simple questions about my life experiences, like the hard stuff of losing my mom to cancer, my son's leukemia diagnosis, and my own weight loss journey. Uh, but instead of just collecting my trauma, they helped me see how these experiences would shape my unique wisdom. What blew my mind was when they reflected back to me this beautiful brand concept around fly. fully living yourself. I'm like goosebumps.
Love it. I
I've
have
always felt,
goosebumps.
yeah, I've always felt scattered with too many skills and interests, but they showed me how everything I've lived through was actually creating this perfect intersection of faith, visibility, and storytelling. I'm like, full goosebumps. They gave me a brand blueprint with colors, typography, content pillars, even faith-led emotions my brand should evoke. I have finally I finally have the language for what I do. I help faith led women move from hidden and hesitant to visible and valued through storytelling, content creation, and soul rooted support.
I
For two
have
years,
full body goosebumps,
I
Sarah.
know
I just to hear you say that one sentence,
you're going to
and
really like the end here. So let me
I
say this.
am, but
And then,
I need to insert
oh,
here. Sarah is not exaggerating when she says that she's been scattered because she that hasn't really understood. Even somebody asked her just the other day, "What is your one thing?" And Sarah's like, "I don't know what my one thing is." Can we just say that like we're human and we have
yeah,
lived experience, and it's beautiful to have that clarity when somebody asks you that one thing, you can give them that sentence. When somebody asks me what I do, I help women take their adversity to advocacy or pain to purpose story and build profitable and sustainable brands. It takes a lot. It's not one thing that I do to get them there, but that is what I do. And
yeah,
so Sarah having that answer, that statement, Sarah, it's something that can propel you forward with so much more clarity and
yeah.
the ability to just stay in your lane, which is you.
Yeah, and
It's
then back
you.
to like for 2 years, I have been stuck on picking one thing. But they showed me that my one thing isn't about limiting myself. It's about creating a doorway people can walk through to experience all of me. Mic drop. My journey through suffering isn't pain, it's just preparation that makes me uniquely qualified to guide others. What makes this different is that I'm not just sharing strategies, I'm sharing sacred reflection. I'm helping women see their true beauty by simply showing up as themselves. And that's something I've had to learn the hard way myself. I can finally breathe. I have direction. I have language for my gifts. And most importantly, I feel permission to be fully, messily, faithfully me while serving others. If
I
you've been stuck or scattered in your business, I cannot recommend this process enough. Sometimes we need someone to hold up a mirror to show us what they see. And that's what I told Celeste the other day. Like, I just need someone to just tell me what to do. Like, I've paid coaches and they've been great and I have learned so much, but I've been afraid to ask them to help me. Like, I've literally paid people to tell me how to help me, but I was too scared. Like I didn't want to be too much. I didn't, and and then it's like in the background, and most of the time I was at my son's hospital bed and I'm like, what am I doing? And like just walking through this, like it's just so beautiful.
I
So yeah.
thank you, Sarah. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for in real time sharing your clarity and the
Mm.
difference. And I can tell there's a weight that has literally been lifted off of you. The clouds have parted, that fog of trying to figure it out, trying to find that thing that's finally going to fit in that round hole that you've been looking for. And it
Yeah,
was
and
all
because
along
it's,
you,
this
all
whole
along.
time I've wanted to find a job that had like time freedom, location freedom. Like I wanted all of those things to be true for me, but I was holding on to photography. And it's just like when I was
Mm.
talking to Celeste, like photography, you have to go somewhere and then you come home and you have to edit and then people want to tell you what they want to pay you and that's too expensive. That's too much. Like I only want a headshot. I don't want all these other things. But like people don't realize what they're paying for when they sign up for a photography package, you know? And so like I am just so ready to just create this new like fly. And can I share that fly story? Did I tell you this fly story?
No, like talk to
Okay,
us. Yeah.
so after my mom passed away, one of my like really good friends at the time, her name was Mai. We worked at the Buckle forever, like all through high school together. And after my mom died, she said, "Sarah, can I just fly you out here for a week? You need a break." And I was like, "Okay." And so she hired a driver to come and pick me up, and he was just the most beautiful man. Like he had this just thick, like Mediterranean accent, and um, but anyway, back to the ADHD, back to the plane. I sat next to this girl and I was reading Heaven is for Real, and she could just see me crying, and like I could tell she didn't like want to pry. I'm like, what are you doing or what is wrong? Like she just she said, I have God gives me these things to give to people, and I don't know what these three little letters will mean to you. But he said, God just told me to look for the girl with the bird, you know, and I'm thinking about like Sandra Bullock and the like bird, you know, like bird, like, and my friend, I had just turned 30 and my friend had gave me a bracelet and it said fly on it, like the bracelet she gave me.
Yeah.
And I just started bawling even harder. Like I was crying from that book. I was crying. Like I'm like, that is my mother in heaven, just being like, go and fly and like do what you're supposed to do, you know? And like, so like, that's why I was like messaging you,
I
like,
that you know, if
ah,
if anyone ever questions if God doesn't use these types of tools, he most certainly does. If ever that even question, because Sarah, like, who would have known this? And the fly, that's where it comes from. You know what I mean? Like, who would have known this?
I know, and
ChatGPT doesn't know
I
this.
do have a picture of it. Like I downloaded it the other day. I used to have a printed out magnet on my fridge, but I went into the whole like let's
I just
simplify.
Well, that simplify can go into that too, you know, and hold on to that word too for real, because I am just speaking from experience of my own too, but that consumption of knowledge and whatever, you know, if once we make the decision to simplify, whatever, simplify. Is that right? The right word now? I have no idea. Once we make that decision to, I call it putting on the blinders,
Mhm.
moving forward, forehead to the shoulder blades of Jesus, letting him guide our steps until we can start looking up and seeing the bigger picture, looking up and looking around at our surroundings and not getting sidetracked by a shiny object. That is what I'm talking about, is the simple like step of just forehead to the shoulder blades of
Yeah,
Jesus. But
and
why is
yeah,
amazing.
and that you know I think goes with like what is the Soul Sister reboot like we have not planned this talk. Nobody like this is all just off the cuff, but like we're the people that God has in your life to just hold your hand and help you. Like that is what's been on my heart this week. Like I just need somebody to take my hand and show me how to do it. Like, and again, coaches,
Here
if
we
you happen to
are.
be watching
Here
this,
we are.
I love you. I have learned so much from you, but like this is what I needed. And I think that's what this group is going to be. It's going to be like you can pop in and be like, hey, I need help with this and this, who can help me? Like I think that is ideally what I see in my mind that we are building. And it's like we're not gatekeeping, we're not like, oh, you know, like yes, you do have to pay to be in this group, but like I think educating in yourself is like the best investment that you could ever make. And I mean, oh, it was a big fear of mine to like invest in my first coach, and I'm like, oh, like I didn't know what to do or how to do it, but I did it. And was my husband happy with me? No. But like, am I a living like testimony of like what I've walked through, yes. Like I'm like, I don't know. My mind is like and
Well,
I've
and
just
I will
started the
say
like
that
content one, and so I haven't got there yet. But
oh, that one's gonna blow your mind. Um, yeah, like, why don't you do that while, yeah,
I
just bring
am, I
Chloe in
am.
real
That's
quick.
what I've been, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
um,
have been doing.
Jordan, as you were listening to Sarah, I know, Sarah and I have known each other a little longer than Jordan and I have, and Jordan and
Like
Sarah have, but I'm
36
not
hours,
much.
maybe.
Yeah, like, let me tell you how I met Sarah. I know, Jordan, I think you know this, but not everybody knows this. We met through a hashtag on Facebook. It was when I was going live a lot. She found me through hashtag finding joy in the journey. I was
I honestly,
seeking
it was
joy.
in Jonathan. Yeah, it was in Jonathan Mass group is where I
Okay, yeah.
found you. You had
And
posted the journey
I
in
don't
there.
ever post in
Yeah,
there. Isn't
I
that
think you
funny?
had just commented on something,
Okay.
but like specifically that morning, like I was praying, Lord, I need help. I need money. Like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? You know, and like that prayer wasn't answered immediately, but it was like I went to go get in the shower and I was like checking Facebook one more time before I got in the shower. And then I saw your thing and then I was like, click. And I'm one of those, like, if I see someone doing something good or somebody's doing
She
something, like, I'm
is.
like,
She's a
yes,
cheerleader.
like, I'll,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's the cheerleader. She's the cheerleader. I'm actually, to going back to even the beginning of this, like, yeah, he called me public speaker, but if I could sit behind my keyboard and develop AI and like have conversations one on one on Zoom and do those kind of things, not necessarily implement what I'm talking about on Zooms with the others, because I've gotten in that trap too. We'll talk about that in the reboot. But if I could stay behind that, I would be fine. But Sarah's a connector. Jordan, she knows what I'm talking about, but she has pushed herself into, with connection and staying connected. And that's really what this is about, is that we're not all designed to have all the strengths. We're not all designed to be the doing it all, like the face of the company, the engine of the company, the whatever it is that God's wanting to build in you, the program. It might be a company. I know mine's company, but it could be a program like Fly. It could be a company like Modern Agora. It could be those things, right? And you're not designed, nor is AI even. Yes, it's an amazing thing that can get your thoughts, get you in action, but you still need community. You
Yeah,
still
and
need community
automations, and I think that
and
that's something that
automation.
both of you are very good at. Is like, like I am looking for the who, or the how, not the who, right? I think that's what we discussed the other
No,
day,
we want to
or
look
we
to the who, not the how.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think that like that's another like great like offer or like add-on that you have is like you do have connections to learning how to do all that. And that's just kind of like my next step of what I need. And just like the importance of like why do you need an automation and like what is automation? Like there's so many different
I think
ways
we're
and
getting in the
things to
weeds
think.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but like I'm just saying, like, like you guys are more advanced, I'm more beginner, I feel like. And
So,
so like
and I
it's
will
just like
tell you,
remembering like, yeah.
the thing is as a beginner, Sarah, if that's, I don't think you're a beginner. I think you're just uncollected. I think that that's all over the place where I talk about like you're not confused. You're literally uncollected. So that's the biggest thing, is that I want with like Allie the activator and some of the other GPTs or whatever that I have built. It's like, let me mirror back to you your significance, your genius, your brilliance in a way that you can hear it and see it. And that's
Mhm.
what I have developed in a lot of these GPTs. And then we move into branding, into content creation. Once you understand you are intricately woven and designed to be a masterpiece, it's not confusion. You just need to see it. It's like I put a mirror up, but it's not me. I couldn't come up with Fly. I'm not
I
that
know.
brilliant, but
And one of the prompts said something about that and like being a mirror too,
Mhm.
in the branding thing. So yeah.
Yeah. I love how Allie doesn't help us figure out what our niche is
Yep.
and put us in that box and say you need to cut out these things the way that so many of us have been taught to niche and pick one focus. But it's like finding a niche by multiplication
Mm.
instead. So finding that one answer still, we're still coming to a singular answer. Like you saw in real time, Sara being able to come down to a single sentence, but that encompasses everything. It pulls everything together. And so it's not addition where you have this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing. It's when you bring all of those together, where is the overlap? Where is the, like, it's almost like putting them together and they become a prism to show that one light beam, that one concentrated point of light that you can be and become for people. It's so beautiful. So that's day one with Celeste, just a tiny taste of day one with Celeste, and
And
then
we
it went
won't be
into
talking like we will be implementing too. I don't know if we've
yes,
actually like talked about that a lot, but we will be implementing as we go. This is not just a sharing and, mindset thing. No, I am all about implementation and I'm
mhm,
actually I had one idea for day 4 because we have a VIP day, get in the VIP. It's going to be
yeah,
amazing. I had one idea, but I really think I'm going to do we're moving into implementation and how to take what we just did and multiply it, Jordan. That's a
yes.
really so good. Yes.
Exactly. And this is one of the reasons I joined the project because I don't take joining collaborations lightly. And so coming together for this project, there are two things that super stick out to me. And one of them is the immediate implementation. I'm going to join a collaboration that is going to move the needle for you immediately within the first 24 hours.
Mhm.
This is something that is necessary for a collaboration that I do with anybody. So we're going to make that happen from day one, literally. And then we have these 3 days that are packed. Celeste leading the first day, Sara walking us through more branding and some of that visual. I'm so excited about her bringing her photography eye. Again, taking that, like, I don't have to be in a photography niche, but look at how that is coming together to this project
20
to,
years. 20
yes,
years of it. Yes.
yes. And so that eye for beauty and all the things that you can't even put into words that are just like gut checks that come of being an artist in that kind of way. And like I mentioned, um, I think to Sara earlier today, my dad was a photographer, so I've seen that sort of a thing. And so that'll be day 2. And again, implementation, you're going to walk away with stuff that you can act on. And then day 3 is my day. And so I know all about all the implementation I've got planned there. And it's about content and bringing this all together. It's like day 1 is helping you look in the mirror and see who you are and seeing yourself truly. Kind of for the first time. Like imagine you've only ever looked in your reflection in water or something, and then you get an actual mirror. That's kind of what it feels like. Then you start looking at, okay, let's learn to put on a little makeup or to style ourselves. It's not necessarily literally those things, but in the figurative sense, day 2 is how do I want to share that and communicate it with the world? How do I want to present myself so
Yeah,
that other
visually.
people can see the same thing that is reflected right here? And then day 3 is actually doing it and creating the actual post that you can post on Facebook, the actual video script, the actual whatever it is that is that next step for you. It's establishing what you're going to do for the next 7 days. And we'll even give you a peek at what it looks like to do it for the next 30 days, but don't get overwhelmed.
Right.
And I'm going to help you not get overwhelmed, but I'm going to show you the possibilities of how smoothly this can become a part of your flow and your rhythm to actually share what you found on day 1 and be able to share it and make an impact and start letting other people experience that for themselves So that's how I see the art
Yes.
of 3 days. Now but that's just one thing that I said. I said I had 2 things that I joined this collaboration because of. That's the first one. The second one is that it is the value is positioned more unlimited. So how do I describe this? We've got the reboot. That's 3 days, 4 days bonus if you're VIP, where we are there, right there for you every minute. After we go live, you can ask us questions right up until the next live, and we'll be able to interact constantly. And it's an intensive. It's almost like you can almost treat it like a virtual retreat,
Yeah.
where we're all still in our own homes, like a staycation, but we're all here for it. But
Mhm.
then, if you want to continue with the Soul Sister project, there's going to be an opportunity to join us. But it's not this ongoing subscription, pay by the month. And, well, if I can't pay this month, do I get booted out of the community? No, this is a sisterhood. So
Yeah.
once you're in, you're in.
Yes.
And so you continue to have that access. You continue to be able to post in the group at all hours of the day or night. If you go back on some of my videos, I shared some of what I'm passionate about 24/7 spaces and why. But yeah, you join the community and you don't get kicked out just because you're less active or less able to pay this month or what have you. It's a lifetime
Yeah.
sisterhood.
Yeah. Yeah. I've felt that in my bones ever since, that idea of having a type of program. And we can go back to last year in May of 2024, where I literally sat down with 50 different women from all over the world, had conversations, interviewed them. And I did that in 1 month. It was the craziest, most exhausting, most exhilarating month of my life. And it was when things started to really, really make sense and start coming together. And of course, God does not move in our um, time. Because, see, if I had pushed for that, what happened and is happening in real time, I wouldn't have allowed for that. And so there's that too. So take that story, y'all. If you see something and you're not moving in it yet, it's not time yet. But I will tell you, you come in during the reboot, get some really great, implementation. You're going to see a mirror of yourself. Like, there's all kinds of stuff, but it could be that you were just waiting for the sisterhood to form, right?
Mhm.
And same. Because, see, the sisterhood formed not that long ago. What are we? We're not even a month after this.
Yeah.
So, God moves. And when he does, he just get ready because it's fun, it's exhilarating, and it's a little scary, but doing it in a group of women that understand makes a whole lot of difference. And so I'm honored and humbled that the Lord brought y'all to me.
Hmm.
I just am. So,
I've got something that I want to close with. So if
yes.
y'all have anything else that you want to throw in before we wrap this up, let me
I
know.
just real quick wanted to say, like, I sent Celeste a message, like, when I was going through it, and I said, this is like exactly what I've been wanting. Like, God gave me the vision of coaching before Jack got sick, and I didn't know how to coach, how to manage my time, or anything. Like, but He gave me the people, the way, and the learning to be here right now. So, like, I just feel like, you guys are talking to more like expert people, and I'm still over here
Yeah,
talking to women that are stuck in the how. So I just think it's such a beautiful, like, combination of all of our talents. And that's all I
I
have.
agree. I agree. And I will say Sarah is keeping me really, really close to that beginner stage. And that's helping me because I've been in this and
Mhm.
for a while. So thank you for that.
And I'm
And Jordan, you've
also,
been
yeah,
asking me some
here this
really great
morning.
questions. And I
Yeah,
appreciate
just
that
like
too.
the real, like,
Every
I didn't put on makeup. I didn't get ready. Like I like
That's the
being
beauty.
like
That's the beauty of it. It's just the beauty of it that we can show up however we want to. We don't judge ourselves. We don't judge others. We
Mhm.
just show up, and it's sisters, just sisters. All right,
Mhm.
Jordan, I would love to hear. Yes, let's hear it, friend.
Yes,
I am so excited.
if you are still listening right now, if you have made it through this whole live or you've even just popped on just now and you're feeling that draw toward this reboot, but something's holding you back, anything, even if you can't even put words to it yet, you're feeling that tug and you don't know why, and you're feeling the resistance and you don't know why. Or if you do, reach out to any of us. You can message me. My DMs are open. I check my other folder, that one where things get lost, that's supposed spam. Like I check those regularly, especially when I'm in the midst of something like this and getting to know new people after an event and before an event. So I check that. So know that you can message me. If you've already got a connection to Celeste or Sara, you can message them and reach out and we'll talk through it. I am not going to lie to you and say, oh, yes, you absolutely need to be a part of this right now. The timing is right. If it's not, if
Right.
there's a gut check there and it's like, I'm not ready to invest the time. Maybe, like Celeste said, the timing isn't always right there. You might have a vision. This might be sparking a vision in you, and you already know what you're supposed to do. And so you just need to go do it on your own. And I'll tell you that if that's what I see. But if you are feeling this draw toward it and you're saying, well, I don't know if I want to invest the money, or I might be too old, or like Sara was saying, well, I don't know if I'm advanced enough, or likewise, I mean, Sara, Celeste, me, we've all been there where it's like, well, I know all the things, but I haven't been acting on it. This is a container to help you act on it. All of these things, whatever it might be that's holding you back, we can help you do some pre-coaching in these next couple days over this weekend and figure out, is the timing right and you're resisting it or feeling resistance from the enemy trying to hold you back? Well, let's break through that.
Yeah.
Or likewise, if the timing isn't right, then we can support you through that as well. And maybe the timing will be right in a future round or something like that. Who knows what God's going to do with
I,
you? But
yeah. And us too. That's the beauty of it too, is to be on that journey. I do see more 3-day challenges. So if this isn't the round, just keep your
Mhm.
eye out. Yeah.
So if you know you want in, drop reboot in the comments and we will get you that link and we will get you in. There's a current special with the VIP too, so you want to grab that now. If you're feeling that draw, now is the time. And if you're not sure, message me, message us.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Sara, for your time today and your, not just today, just jumping all in with this, and it's not even with me. It is for the Soul Sister Project. See, that
Mhm.
was what Jordan had said to branding your company. It looks different. And so it's not me, it's the project. And I thank y'all for that. So, all right, y'all have an amazing weekend. Reach out to us, comment reboot. We'll get you, we'll reach out. And all right.
and I feel like it's like summer camp. It's like summer camp with your friends. Like come
It
be in our
is.
camp.
Yes, and we get to do all the feelings and the business. It's going to be so good, and the content. All right. Love y'all guys. See ya.